Welcome back, Algebra 2 Trig. Today we'll be going over P4, which is rational expressions. What I want to first talk about is domain. And in your book, domain is the set of real numbers. The set of real numbers that work for a given expression. And what that means in normal people terms is what values would work for whatever expression I give you. So let's do an example. So the first example I have is find the domain for x squared minus 6x over x squared plus 2x minus 48. Okay, so if I look at this expression, it looks like I probably have to factor. And I'm pretty much always going to try to factor as much as I can. So if I look at this expression on the top, I can factor out an x. That'll be x times x minus 6. If I factor the bottom, it'll be x plus 8, x minus 6. Okay, so now if I look at the equation again, I can actually simplify. I can cross out the x minus 6, and all I will have is x over x plus 8. Okay, so when I look at this in terms of domain, I'm looking at which values of x can this be, and which values of x can this not be. And if I look at this expression, I know that with a fraction, I can't divide by 0. So therefore, the x plus 8 cannot equal 0. So I want to find the value of x that is equal to 0, the value of x that'll make the bottom of the fraction equal 0. So I'm going to set x plus 8 equals 0, and I'll find that x equals negative 8. And it makes sense because if I plug in negative 8 here, negative 8 plus 8 is 0. So the domain for this, and you can write this many different ways, but I can write, so the domain for this is x does not equal negative 8. And what I'm saying is it can be every number but 8. You could also write it as all real numbers except for negative 8. You can also write it like that. So it's up to you. Okay, let's do another example. Example 2. Okay, so example 2, same thing. Find the domain for radical 2x minus 7. So now this is a little different because I'm looking at a radical, there's no fraction. But if I look at this radical right here, I know that I cannot take a radical of a negative number, at least not yet. So I want to find the values of x that will make this negative, and that will be what the domain is not. So if I look at this, if I look at the expression, I know 2x minus 7, which is the expression underneath my radical, that has to be greater than 0. Actually, I can be greater than or equal to 0, because I can take the square root of 0 as well. So I want 2x minus 7 to be greater than or equal to 0, and that will be my domain. So if I look at this, I can add 7. I'll have 2x is greater than or equal to 7. I'll divide by 2, and x is greater than or equal to 7 halves. So which means all the values greater than 7 halves of x, well, as long as x is greater than or equal to 7 over 2, it will work. And you can try by plugging in 7 over 2. If I plug in 7 over 2 here, I will get 7 minus 7, which is 0, and I can take the radical, and anything above that will come out positive. So that's literally my domain. So that's what I put in. I put in this symbol right here. Okay? And tune in to the next video for rational expressions.